Out, Out by Robert Frost. The buzzsaw snarled and rattled in the yard and made dust and dropped stove-like sticks of wood. Sweet, scented stuff when the breeze drew across it. And from there, those that lifted the eyes could count 5 mountain ranges, one beyond the other, another under the sunset far into Vermont. And the saw snarled and rattled, As it light ran, or had to bear a load, and nothing happened, day was all but done. Call it a day, I wish they might have said, to please the boy by giving him the half hour, the boy that counts so much when saved from work. His sister stood beside him in her apron to tell him, supper. At the word, the saw, as if to prove saws knew what supper meant, leaped out at the boy's hands, or seemed to leap. He must have given the hand. However it was, neither refused the meeting, but the hand. The boy's first outcry was a rueful laugh, as he swung toward them, holding up the hand, half an appeal, but half as if to keep the life from spilling. Then the boy saw all, since he was old enough to know, big boy, doing a man's work, though a child at heart. He saw all spoiled. Don't let him cut my hand off, the doctor, when he comes in. Don't let him, sister. But the hand was gone already. The doctor put him on the dark of either. He lay and puffed his lips out with his breath, and then the watcher, as his pulse took fright, no one believed. They listened at his heart. Little, less, nothing. And that ended it. No more to build on from there. And they, since they were not the one dead, turned to their affairs.
One scene.
My doggy ate my essay, he picked up all my mail, he cleaned my dirty closet and dusted with his tail. He straightened out my posters and swept my wooden floor. My parents almost fainted when he fixed my bedroom door. I did not try to stop him, he made my windows shine. My room looked like a palace, and my dresser smelled like pine. He fluffed up every pillow and folded all my clothes. He even cleaned my fish tank with a toothbrush and a hose. I thought it was amazing to see him use a broom. I'm glad he ate my essay on how to clean my room.
A is awesome. It simply is the best. Without an A, you could not get an A+ on a test. You'd never see an acrobat or eat an apple pie. You couldn't be an astronaut or kiss your aunt goodbye. An antelope would not exist, an ape would be unknown. You'd never hear a person say afraid or all alone. The A's in avocado would completely disappear, and certain words would be forgot like ankle, arm, and ear. Without the A, you couldn't aim an arrow in the air. You wouldn't ask for apricots or almonds at a fair. Aruba and Australia would be missing from a map. You'd never use an ATM, an apron, or an app. The Arctic fox and aardvark would be absent from the zoo, and vowels as you know them would be E, I, O, and U. There wouldn't be an A chord on the instruments you play. Let's appreciate, admire, and applaud the letter A.
Go.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, you can trust yourself when all men doubt you. Make it allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give away the hate to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can make a dream, and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your if you can meet with Trump and Disser and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knives to make a trap for fools. Or watch the things you give your life to broken, and troop and build them up with wore-out tools. If you can make one leap of all your winners and risk it on one turn of pitch, patch, and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sparrow to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with the crowds and keep your future, or walk with kings, nor loose the common touch, if neither forces nor loving friends can hurt you. If all men count on you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute within 60 seconds worth the district run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
It's by Walt Whitman. Beat, beat drums, blow, bugles, blow. Through the windows, through doors, burst like a ruthless force. Into the solemn church and scatter the congregation. Into the school where the scholar is studying. Leave not the bridegroom quiet, no happiness must he have now with his bride, nor the peaceful farmer any peace, plowing through his field or gathering his grain. So fierce you were, and pound you drums, so shrill you bugles blow. Beat, beat drums, blow, bugles blow. Over the traffic of cities, over the rumbles of wheels in the streets, are beds prepared for sleepers at nights in the house. No sleepers must sleep in those beds. No bargainers bargains by day, no brokers or speculators. Would they continue? Would the talkers be talking? Would the singer attempt to sing? Would the lawyer rise in court and state his case before the judge? Then rattle quicker, heavier drums, you bugles wilder blow. Beat, beat drums, blow, bugles blow. Make no parley, stop for expulsation. Mind not the timid, mind not the weeper or prayer. Mind not the old man, beseeching the young man. Let not the child's voice be heard, nor the mother's entreaties. Even the trestles to shake the dead where they lie awaiting the horses. So strong you thump, O terrible drums, so loud you bugles blow.
Dream Girl by Margarita Engel. On an island of music, a city of drum beats, the drum dream girl dreamed. A pounding tall conga drums, tapping small bongo drums. The boom boom booming with loud sticks, and big round silvery moon bright timbales. But everyone on the island of music in the city of drum beats believed that only boys should play drums. So the dream girl had to keep dream quiet, secret drum beat dreams. At outdoor cafes that looked like gardens, she heard drums play by men. But when she closed her eyes, she could also hear her own imaginary music. When she walked under the windy wave palm trees in the flower-bright park, she heard the whirl of parrot wings, the clack of woodpecker's beats, and dancing tap of her own foot, and comforting pat on her own heartbeat. At carnivals, she listened to the rattling beat of towering dancers on stilts, and the dragging clang of custom drummers wearing huge masks. At home, her fingertips rolled out her own dream drum rhythm on tables and chairs, and even though everyone kept reminding her that girls on the island of music have never played drums, the brave dream girl dared to play tall conga drums, small bongo drums, big round silvery moonlight timbales, I don't know. Her hands seemed to fly as they rippled, rapped, and pounded all the rhythms of her drum dreams. Her big sisters were so excited that they invited her to join their new all-girl dance band. But their father said only boys should play drums. So the dream girl had to keep dreaming and drumming alone until finally her father offered to find a music teacher who could decide if her drums deserved to be heard. The Drum Dream Girl teacher was amazed. The girl knew so much, but he taught her more and more and more, and she practiced and practiced and practiced until the teacher agreed that she was ready to play her small bongo drums outdoor at a starlit cafe that looked like a garden, where everyone who heard her dream-bright music sang and danced and decided that girls should always be allowed to play drums, and both girls and boys should feel free to dream. The end.
There are monsters everywhere. Raccoons and skunks. There are possums outside. There are monsters in my bed. There's one monster. He is my little one. I talk to my little monster. I give him my little monster some bacon. But that does not satisfy him. I tell him, shh, shh. Don't growl at me, little monster. And he growls. Oh boy, does he growl. And tells me something from me. He wants my soul. I finally give him my gleaming soul. As he eats my gleaming soul, I am one with him. I stare out at his eye pits. I see nothing but white. And then I see nothing but fog, and the white that I had seen before, nothing but fog. And there is nothing but the fog that the eyes of the monsters.
I walk across a frozen pond. Here is where the water aisles were. Under here was the black rock where the catfish would hide. Observe a cracking sound as if it is splitting as love grows deeper. All the arrows are bent over. My shoulders, knees, feet, that all summer long I saw reflected, sitting on this rock, have frozen like the iris. They too show no sign of having watched the reflection of something before this. Although the 14th-day moon comes in its course, icily all remain silent. Suppose someone's comes along, loud steps trailing on the pond. The address makes me exactly say, "This is where I used to be. This is where that star used to come."
Let Evening Come by Jane Kenyon. Let the light of late afternoon shine through the chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down. Let the crickets take off shafting as a woman takes up her needle and her yarn. Let evening come. Let dew collect on the hoe abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn. Let the fox go back in its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go back black inside. Let evening come. To the bottle in the ditch, to the scoop in the oats, in the air in the lung. Let evening come. Let it come as it will, and don't be afraid. God does not leave us comfortless, so let evening come.
The Rainy Day by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The day is cold and dark and dreary. It rains and the wind is never wary. The vine still clings to the moldering wall, but at every gust more dead leaves fall. And the day is dark and dreary. My life is cold and dark and dreary. It rains and the wind is never weary. My thoughts still cling to the moldering past, and youth's fond hopes fall thick in the blast. And my life is dark and dreary. Be still, sad heart, and cease repining. Behind the clouds is the sun still shining. Thy fate is the common fate of all. Into each life some rain must fall. Some days must be dark and dreary. Thank you. You can applaud now.
For Whom the Bell Tolls by John Donne. No man is an island entire of itself. Each is a piece of a continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less. As well if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thine own, or of thy friends were. Each man's death diminishes me, for I am involved in mankind. Therefore, said not to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee.
A Red, Red Rose by Robbie Burns. Oh, my loves, like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my loves, like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bony lass, so deep in love I am, and I will love thee still, my dear, till the seas gang dry. Till the seas gang dry, dear, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, with the sands of life shall run. And fare thee weal, my only love, and fare thee will a while, and I will come again, my love, thou it were 10,000 mile. Thank you.
The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. Part 1. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon the cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He'd a French cocked hat on his forehead and a bunch of lice on his chin, a coat of claret velvet and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted over and never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh. He rode with a jeweled twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a tinkle onto the jeweled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the dock and yard. He tapped his whip on the shutters, and all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, who should be waiting there, but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, played a dark red love knot in her long black hair.
And dark, olden yard, a stable wicked creek, where Tim the ostler listened. His face was white and peaked. His eyes were hollows of madness. His hair was moldy hay. But he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, and heard the robber say, "One kiss, my bony sweetheart, I'm after a prize tonight, but I shall be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply, and harry me through the day, then look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight, I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." He rose up in surprise, he scarce could reach her hand, but he loosened her hair, the claspment, his face burnt like a brand, as the black cascade of perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight, oh sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he tugged at his rein in the moonlight and galloped away to the west.
He did not come in the dawning, he did not come at noon, and out of the tawny sunset before the rise of the moon, when the road was a gypsy ribbon, looping the purple moor, a red-coat troop came marching. King George's men came to the matching up to the old inn door. They said no word to the landlord, they drank his ale and said, but they gagged his daughter and bound her to the foot of her narrow bed. Two of them knelt at her casement with muskets at their side. There was death at every window and hell at one dark window, for Bess could see through her casement the road that he would ride. They had tied her up to attention with many a sniggering jest. They had bound a musket beside her with a barrel beneath her breast. Now keep good watch, and they kissed her. She heard the dead man say, "Look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, through hell should bar the way." She twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. She writhed her hands till her fingers were wet with sweat or blood. They stretched and strained in the darkness, and the hours crawled by like years, till now on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it. The trigger, at least, was hers.
The tip of one finger touched it. She strove no more for the rest. Up she stood, up to attention, with the barrel beneath her breast. She would not risk their hearing, she would not strive again, for the road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight, and the blood of her veins in the moonlight throbbed to her love's refrain. Tlot, tlot, tlot. Had they heard it? The horse hoofs ringing clear. Tlot, 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 tlot in the distance. Were they deaf that they did not hear? Down the ribbon of the moonlight, over the brow of the hill, the highwayman came riding. The red coats looked to their priming. She stood up, straight and still. twat, twat in the frosty silence, twat, twat in the echoing night. Nearer he came and nearer. Her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment. She drew one last deep breath. Then her finger moved in the moonlight. Her musket shattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. He turned and spurred to the west. He did not know who stood, bowed with her head o'er the musket, drenched with her own red blood. Not till the dawn he heard it. His face grew gray to hear how best the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, had watched for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness there.
Back he spluttered like a handmaid, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him, and his wrapper bridged high. Blood red were his spears, the golden noon. Wine red was his velvet coat. When they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway, and he lay in his blood on the highway with the bunch of lass at his throat, and still of a winter's nights. They say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly gallon tossed upon cloudy seas, when the road is a ribbon of moonlight over the purple mooner, a highwayman comes riding. A highwayman comes riding up to the old inner door. Over cobs he clutches and clangs in the dark yard. He taps with his whip on scooters, but all is locked and battered. He whistles a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the lanyard's black-eyed daughter, bless the lanyard's daughter, planking a black-red love knot into her long black hair.
Five, 6, 7. Oh my God!
What the?
She's a lassie. She's a cheerleader. Being a cheerleader. Action. Zombie?
Yes.
Zombie.
Okay, but you act out your zombie.
Like this.
I don't.
She's very
That is a great zombie right there. We have zombie Girl Scouts today.
Oh yeah, I can tell they're zombies.
Okay. Oh no, there's a fire! To the fire truck! In the fire truck. I grab the hose.
Firefighter?
Whoa. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
How was your day?
Good. How's yours?
Good. Did you find everything okay?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
How many $12 is $12?
Cashier?
Yep.
Pirate?
Wait. Are you an astronaut?
What is?
Yes, reading a book.
Collapsing?
Sleeping. Got it.
Okay, I need to get on the special boots meant for it. I need to just lock them into place. I need to grab
What
the
the-
keys. Yeah. It was skiing.
Those are swimming.
Yeah, swimming.
Swimming?
Yeah.
Swimming.
Playing the guitar.
Yes.
Go.
I have a dog, Gwen. Ivy cat. Lily is an owl.
Isla is duck.
Liz? What is Liz? What is Liz?
Keep trying, Liz.
Elephant.
Yeah.
Milo, what are you? This is our cadet and senior troop.
A snake?
A fin.
Yeah, it's a snake.